Hey, what's going on, everybody? Agent WD-40 here. Want to take a look at this judge indefinitely blocks Trump's plan to freeze federal aid. What is it about these judges? I can't stress this or say this enough, that we need to get rid of these judges. Why in the world would a judge be against the federal government saving money and going through money? It stuns me. Trump needs to, I don't know, fire them. He needs to do something with these judges. I've said this too many times that I'm almost purple in the head. That these judges, they're no good. They never have been. They never will be. They don't benefit our country. Here we got Trump, our president, our current president. He's trying to get all this money back from all this useless stuff, transgender stuff, all these studies, analyzing dog booty. And if you guys ain't seen that video that I made, that was quite funny. Seeing all that government spending and what they actually used it on. But let's see what another frickin' judge has to say and what they are blocking once again. A federal judge on Tuesday indefinitely blocked the Trump administration freeze of federal funding, dealing a stark blow to President Trump's sweeping efforts to realign government spending with his agenda. Well, I mean, he really hasn't got an agenda. Why does it have to be Trump's agenda? It's America's agenda. This government funding, all this government wasteful spending, it needs to quit. That's why our prices are through the roof on everything from eggs, milk, to gasoline or diesel. God forbid you have a diesel. Wow, you guys are paying through the roof for that. U.S. District Judge Lauren enjoined the government from implementing, giving effect to, or reinstating under a different name the White House Budget Office directive to freeze federal assistance while the court reviews the spending. Well, I mean, I can see no, I can't see the judge's point. We need to stop the wasteful spending. Nothing more, nothing less. It's just something our country needs to do. We spend way too much stuff. We spend way too much money on stuff that is just useless. In the simplest terms, the freeze was ill-conceived from the beginning, Lauren wrote. Defendants either wanted to pause up to $3 trillion in federal spending practices overnight. $3 trillion. Let that sink in. That's not $3. That ain't $300. That sure ain't $3,000. That's $3 trillion. It's almost like these judges, they get paid too much for the very little that they do. They've got opinions that are about equivalent of a rat. I mean, it's real easy to be way up there on the white pedestal and live a life of luxury as a judge and think that $3 trillion is nothing. Ridiculous. They expected each federal agency to review every single one of its grants, loans, and funds for compliance in less than 24 hours. Why do you even need 24 hours? That's $3 trillion. I can't blame President Trump or Elon Musk for wanting to get this done quick. The quicker this budget gets done, the quicker money starts pouring back into our country, goes back into our pockets. Now think, that $3 trillion, that's your money. That isn't the government's money. It's my money. That's your kids' money if they have jobs. Now, why should we wait and sit on our hands and wait for $3 trillion to come back to us? The command is almost unfathomable. No, what's unfathomable is the fact that the previous administration, Biden administration, spent $3 trillion on something, and this story ain't telling us what they spent it on. But I bet you can make a good guess on what that $3 trillion went to. I'm going to guess some kind of transgender thing in some other country in Africa. Well, I'm quite sure there ain't many gay people to begin with, from what I've seen. It ain't even a gay thing, it's a trans thing. They spent $3 million on studies that benefited nobody. Not just us people here in America, but didn't benefit anybody in the known solar system or the galaxy. Ridiculous. And this judge has the kahunas to sit there and say it's unfathomable. I think this judge might be a little left-leaning, and maybe it's time for her to go. Or maybe she knows girl math, and $3 trillion is just nothing to her. No, $3 trillion, that $3 trillion could be put back in our pockets, and maybe we have to pay less personal property taxes, gas taxes. We're still the only country that, when you go to the grocery store, we still have taxes on our food. The only country. That's ridiculous. A coalition of non-profits challenged the Office of Management or Budget directives last month. Though the memo that spurred the lawsuit was rescinded, the coalition has argued that the administration maintains an interest in carrying out the same policies as part of the broader efforts to dramatically reshape the federal government. Our federal government needed to be reshaped. We have way too many people that's in the federal government. They don't really do anything. Let's be honest. The only thing, when you say federal government or federal agent, the first thing I think is IRS. And how they've taken down a lot of good people over some really stupid reason. If somebody if somebody buys a Hot Wheels car for their kid, the government wants to know about it. If you have a garage sale, boy, you better claim them taxes, or boy, you're going to be paying 18 to 20 times more than what your little garage sale made. Ridiculous. It's bad enough we got to pay $2,000 for a cell phone, $4,000 for a desktop computer, $2,000 for a laptop. All this needs to end. Then why are prices so high? Because we have judges that think $3 trillion is worth blocking because it needs to go to some program that nobody needed in the first place. Anyways, the lawsuit was filed by the National Council of Nonprofits, SAGE, a pro-LGBTQ adversary. It's the Organization for Older Adults, the American Public Health Association, a small business group, Mainstream Alliance. They are represented by Democracy Forward and left-leaning legal organizations that has frequently battled Trump in the courts. Now, this is why most people voted to the right side and voted for Trump this time. Like a lot of leftists, even the leftists are starting to see that their side wasn't the winning ticket. The left's always crying about, we're going to lose democracy. We're going to lose democracy with Trump. Well, that's not true, because we're not a democracy. We are a republic. And this is what the Democrats and the left-leaners need to realize. And honestly, the most vicious thing on our planet that plagues our planet, well, there's lots of things that plague our planet, but democracy is not a good thing. All it is a money scheme, a Ponzi scheme, a fear-mongering tactic that the Democrats like to use. Now, the rest of us who know history, have read the Constitution, we are a republic. Nothing more, nothing less. This judge previously blocked the administration from keeping disbursements paused while she weighed whether the issue was preliminary injunction. Okay, this is stupid right here. We're leaving the fate of our country and the fate of our country's money to this one female judge. And this story right here proves that this judge should not even be in the power and the position she's in. If she's going to do the so-called girl math and think that $3 trillion is a joke, maybe it's time for somebody to resign. On Tuesday, she said the plaintiffs had more than met their burden for further relief. No, us American people, we're not back in this transgender thing. These people are 0.0001% of our population. They have the same rights we do. You know, if my car gets broke down, can I claim that I'm a trans dude and the Democrats will pay for it because I'm so unprivileged? I mean, come on, let's get real here. All this money being spent is doing no good for anybody. Why should we bow down to less than a percentage of the people in our country when we got 99.99999 infinite people that need more help? We have homeless on the street. We have vets we need to take care of. We got people with PTSD, medical issues. You know, there's other programs that are more important than these trans people or the LGBTQ. It's just ridiculous. We're spending way too much money on a group of people that are entitled, think everybody owes them something, and we got judges that are backing them. Of course, we're probably going to find out that the judge himself is probably some trans woman, half horse, monkey, and helicopter, Apache helicopter. And this is why Trump's trying to get rid of all these, well, there's no other words for them. Waste of space, deadweight people. I just cannot express enough why we need to get rid of judges. $3 trillion is nothing to bark at. Many organizations had to resort to desperate measures just to stay operational. That's because your service wasn't wanted. You know, it's like having a small business and all you sell is paper clips. How many people are going to walk into your store and how many people actually need, in today's world, a paper clip? You don't. So should you stay open as a small business because all you specialize in is a paper clip? No, we don't fund businesses like that. We need businesses out there that suit the people. That's an everyday, daily thing. Stop with this useless stuff. This is what we're wasting money on, and there's no need for it. The pause place critical programs for children, the elderly, and everyone in between in serious jeopardy. Now, how can you sit here and say that it's for the elderly and children when all these groups are nonprofit, SAGE, and LGBTQ people? You know, this is what the left does. If they can't get their point across by calling you every foul name in the book because your opinion difference is different from theirs, then they always resort to putting old people, I shouldn't say that, that's wrong of me, elderly people and kids. The same kids that they're trying to convert into drag queens and stuff. Straight ridiculous. And everyone in between in serious jeopardy. I'm not in jeopardy. Are you in jeopardy? We're all in jeopardy because you're spending $3 trillion on cutting body parts off. Because the public interest is not having trillions of dollars frozen cannot be overstated. Yes, it's overstated and overrated. We need to get rid of these programs. $3 trillion? $3 trillion. That's a lot of dough, boys. That's a lot of cheddar. That's a lot of cheese. I'd rather see that $3 million go to a food bank that distributes food to people that ain't got none. But, you know, these are the same people and the same judges that think, you know, you go into San Francisco and California and buy them, you know, drug needles so they can do their, you know, heroin and everything else. But they would rather the trans community get $3 trillion, and more than that actually, around the world, while the rest of us have to bust our ass just to put food on our plates and pay our bills. There's where the burden lies. The hell with that trans stuff. It's not no good. It's not going to do anything for anybody. The challengers argued that more extensive relief is necessary because none of the concerns present when the judge entered a temporary restraining order have gone away, pointing to Trump's continued interest in realigning the government spending with goals. The Justice Department, however, said the case is moot because the memo was just worthless. It's just junk. Now, see, this is what I mean. There's absolutely no reason why us taxpayers should be funding stuff that we don't believe in. You know, and Trump, you know, for being a rich guy, for being a businessman. And I don't like rich people because I think they're stuck up their own asses. But, you know, I got to go with Trump here again on this. $3 trillion, that's a lot of grip. It's a lot of donuts, baby. Hell, I could be eating a donut right now. The prices were cheaper. Let's go in this comment section and see what the Stooges, the Three Stooges, got to say. Another unelected pipsqueak judge trying to run the U.S. There should be some limitations set on these creepy judges. They are making the courts untrustworthy. Keys Robert, I completely agree with you, bro. Completely. You're basically said what I've been saying throughout this video in a couple of sentences. Completely agree with you. These courts are not trustworthy, then neither are the judges. They never have been. BZD, appointed by the president and commissioned on December 13th, 2023. They are all political appointments. Well, I mean, you're talking about 2023 wasn't done by Trump there, BZD. That was done by the Biden administration. And like I said, Trump needs to fire these people, go make them work a desk job. These judges need to go. They just need to go. And it's nice to see that some right-sided people are up on this MSN Bing chat crap. Because, boy, Bing is sure left-sided. Robert Franklin says, translation, Democrats are entitled to steal, waste, and spend money. Amen to that, brother. I feel you there. Anyway, they want. That's why it has been, and that's the way it will be. What the Constitution says is irrelevant. Now, see, I've said this the whole time. Democrats, they don't care about the Constitution. If it was up to the Democrats, we wouldn't have a Constitution. We wouldn't have a Bill of Rights because they would get rid of them all. They would start a new world order, if you believe in that sort of thing. And whether you like it or not, the Democrats are not on your side. They would rather see you imprisoned and being slaves versus doing the right thing. And we already know the Democrats, they're not about unity. They don't want to unite nothing. They just want to line their pockets. Stephen Hall says, why are Republicans completely devoid of empathy for hungry children? Now, wait a minute. Now, Stephen here, 5 minutes ago, I'm going to dislike this because you can tell this Stephen guy right here, he's the type of person that only read this much of the story because down here, let's see if we can find her again. Down here, they're using children for their agenda or their propaganda. Which for some reason I can't find it now, but I just went over it a couple minutes ago. So, Stephen, you're kind of a screwball guy, because Republicans, we care about kids. Why do we care about kids? Because we still have family values. That's not an agenda. That's not propaganda, unlike you leftist Marcus always want to say. You know, there are a lot of families that still believe in God. While I personally don't, you know, as part of being a family. You leftists and you leftist judges, you're the ones that don't care about humanity. So I just wanted to get that little spiel out and just talk about judges, because boy, I am so tired of hearing about these judges. They're just incompetent. But, you know, I'm going to go ahead and blast off here. I've already screamed in your ear enough today. Or at least in this video, little rant. Because you know how I feel about judges and the left here recently. And the stupidity that comes from their side. But, hey, I have also noticed that a lot of people's watching my videos and not subscribing. You know, if you're signed into one of these services like BitChute, Rumble, YouTube, the TikTok, or anywhere else you see my video, you know, do me a solid and hit that subscribe button or that follow button. And, you know, if you like what I say, give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you're there. And if you don't like it, leave a comment. Hell, leave a comment just to tell me what your thoughts are. And I'll give you an answer back. You know, all this has got to stop. Trump's doing the right thing. Elon's doing the right thing. We need to save money. We need to get that money back. This is Agent WD-40. Like always, baby, I'm out this beer.